is another important aspect for the language survival. Dance were used for planting, harvesting, celebrating birthdays, weddings, deaths. When some people pass away, we sing, we celebrate, because they go to another beautiful place. At the end of this talk, we were going to do a little dance so you can fully appreciate it and enjoy it. The instruments used for the dance and also music are flute from bamboo, and also we make instruments from wood. And percussion, we have some drums, and also we have, this is seashell, it's an instrument. Another way to maintain language is the oral tradition. Families keep the story because they pass through it through generations. There have been collected several stories which narrate the life of people in the mountains, their notion of evil, good, but also indigenous have a rich sample of educational ways. I'm going to talk this time a little bit of the linguistic aspect of the Runasimi. I think my colleague, you will, who is an expert in the linguistic, will appreciate, I hope so. The theory I presented is authored by Wolfgang Wolk. I mean, he is from Germany. And also I would like to give credit to Numa because we discussed about this theory. It says, every language is based and serves for encoding and decoding information. European languages do both encoding and decoding from right to left. This kind of processing information is the main stimulus to our left brain in detriment of our right brain. As modern neurology studies are discovering, right brain researchers agree that language that including encoding and decoding from left to right, such as Hebrew, Arabic, etc., and those from up and down, such as Chinese or Japanese, stimulate our right brain. Information carried out in the Andean Runasimi or Quechua is encoded from right to left and decoded from left to right. For example, I have here a sample. Asirachiwanki. Asirachiwanki is encoded starting by the root asi. You have asi. It means to be happy, to laugh, or to smile. Being Runasimi an agglutinant language, its root is modulated through a series of attached suffixes as follows. Ra, intermittence, stationary. Chi, causative. One, conjunction, and ki refer to a second person. When decoding the Runasimi speaker start from the left toward the right, you make me laugh. It says that, you make me laugh. Just in one sentence, in one word, is the complete sentence. It is the most direct and simple meaning. Another important feature of the Runasimi is that complete sentence, as I said, is expressed from one word. Although the indigenous people are oppressed for more than 500 years, we are also survivors because the Runasimi language helps us, our brain, and maintain fine as long as it can. For instance, my mother speaks fluently Runasimi, She is now 92 years old, and she does not have Alzheimer's. And she has better memory than me, because I don't speak that often. And one more thing that I am going to refer is when the Spaniards took, actually in prison, the last Inca, Atahualpa, called Atahualpa, he was watching the soldiers playing chess. And suddenly he asked, with signs, because he didn't speak the language, if he could play chess. And he played chess, and actually was a winner because of the language. And this is actually recorded in the chronicles. I didn't invent it. It's in the chronicles, written by the Spaniards first. Food. You have to see the food. The indigenous food is also another way to survive. And we have potatoes, all kinds of potatoes. This is just one sample. We have more than 1,000 varieties, I am not exaggerating, of potatoes. You have here the corn, all kinds of corn, and also our kernel is very big. And I have here one sample, I'm going to pass, of the purple corn, which is an antioxidant. Very, very important. We have that every time, every year, every day. Another food, important food, is quinoa, that it was recently discovered by the Western taste. But the Runasimi people ate quinoa every day. We have also some other produce, such as oca, oyuco, achira, and many unique fruits. I didn't bring pictures. During the colonial times, the Spaniards didn't give enough food to indigenous nor to slaves. They gave them bones, so they could have a soup from bones. But the bones were nutritious. And they gave them beans, frijoles. Frijoles had a lot of fiber and a lot of protein. That is why they survived. Food are very important. What? Also, animals. We have Andean animals. One is called vicuña. Vicuña has the finest wool, the finest. This is a poncho from vicuña. This is belong to my late brother, so it's very precious. But I'm going to pass. Please return it to me. No, I am just teasing. You can feel the vicuña wool. And the second set are the alpaca. Alpaca also has a fine wool, but not as the vicuña. The third one, llamas. You already know llamas. There are some llamas here in Wisconsin. They are now pets. They are very particular. During the Inca time, they used llamas to transport some things, but they didn't accept to have more than right. When they had a little bit more ounces of the weight, they would sit. They couldn't move or spit, no? And another animal that we have, and it serves a lot for the meat and also the wool, are the guanaco. It's like the vicuña, but it's not actually that. If you see the neck is not as fine like the vicuña. Those animals are our friends, and also we survive because of them. Another way, let me see, what are we doing to revitalize Runasimi? There is an explosion of publications. Some publications are monolingual. Just in one, like for instance, this is Atuxpa Chupan. Atuxpa Chupan means Atuxpa is fox, Chupan is the tail, completely in Runasimi. I'm going to pass. And we have also bilingual, many bilingual publications in Runasimi and also in Spanish. This book is written by a congressman, and he is a very well known, and we are happy that we have a congressman. And this one was written by me and with a collaboration of my brother, and also we gave credit to my mother because she was our inspiration. This is a book with accompanied by with a CD. At the end, if you like, we have a couple of samples you can buy, but I'm not, making like making you buy. But another way to revitalize the language is with indigenous organizations. So those organizations defend the indigenous communities because we have invasions to our communities by the mining companies, by the loggers, etc., etc. And the organization, when we are together, we have more strength. And how we get together? Speaking our language. Our language is a powerful tool to continue and having strong our language and culture. And also educational conferences and workshops in Runasimi. The last one is we, as a family, founded an association called Jose Teófilo Armacanqui for studying for studying and promoting the Runasimi or Quechua language. We do many activities, events. It was founded, my brother passed away in 2003, and we, because of the enthusiasm of my brother Numa, we actually founded that association that based in Madison. The events that we have. In 2008, we organized a national literary contest in Runasimi. In 2009, we published the Cachicachicha, this book, in 3 languages, trilingual, in Spanish, Runasimi, and also English. In 2010, we collected books for the community library. We created a library. We didn't have library in our community. With the help of friends, and it is an ongoing project. In 2010, there was a workshop in the city, town, high in the mountains, called La Ramarca. We are from that town. And the workshop is to keep the language, continue. In 2011, again, the same workshop with children. Finally, in 2011, we had a library, community library. In 2012, from the workshop, there were children who wrote the stories, collected the stories from their communities, the oral tradition. And we are collecting that stories and anecdotes, fables, for a future publication. Oh, sorry. Here you are. This is the first draft of the book that I am referring to, and the authors, the children. You can see different ages. They write. Sometimes they write in Spanish. That is unfortunately why we are actually worried about Runasimi. Although it's 10 million people speak, but mainly are adults. And children are not speaking because in the schools, the emphasis is in Spanish. There are a few bilingual schools, but they put emphasis in Spanish. They use Runasimi to teach Spanish, then Runasimi is put aside and they continue in Spanish. And I'm going to show the library. Look, the students in the town, they never had books. They were reading the books when the books arrived, and it was a joy for them. Upon concluding my presentation, I would like to invite you to reflect ways that we can help to maintain and strengthen the languages spoken by all the indigenous people here, in Peru, anywhere. One way will be being more understanding and kind with the Native American people. For instance, right now, Native American needs your support and help because Governor Scott Walker approved in the House of Representatives mining in the Upper Peninsula, in the Superior, no? The mines actually are not good because, well, Walker said it will bring jobs, but you could see what happened in Peru, in La Oroya and Cerro de Pasco. Those cities are ghost cities, and actually are the poorest cities, although they had mining there. So if there are some kind of demonstrations, please join them, join us, and make a statement. The culture of indigenous people are very important to maintain because they are part of the society. I am going to teach a few words. Hopefully they will be here. You basic Runasimi expression. You can see. Alin Punchai. You can see what is Alin Punchai. Good morning, no? You see the picture. Alin Punchai. Again, Alin Punchai. Alin Chisi. It's good afternoon. A kind of late, I couldn't find an art clip. Alin Tuta. You know that, huh? Yeah, exactly. Sutimi Elia. No, Sutimi Elia. Sutimi.
Sutimi Janice. Sutimi Gail. Sutimi Nicole.
Sutimi Casey.
Yeah, could you please to each other say Sutimi such and such, please? Exactly. See. Arintuta Sonny. Arintuta Sonny. I changed Elia, no? Sonny. A ver. Arintuta. Yeah, anywhere, any name that you have. Yeah. Anyay. Imamanta. Tinkunakama. Tinkunakama. Anyay.
Well, I say Bonjour. 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 Miigwech, Elia, for talking. We were trying to figure out how much time to use this evening. They said there was 1 hour, so she would take the first 20 minutes and I would take the second 20 minutes and we have questions. So, but it's very interesting. I mean, many things that she talked about are very similar to the indigenous language on Turtle Island here. Tribal people call it Turtle Island, which we refer to as North America. So actually, if you look at the map, it looks like a turtle. You can see the tail, the 2 feet on the bottom of Florida, California, on the front there. So it's a turtle's head, and so it looks like the turtle there. But that's what they refer to as Turtle Island there. There's an old man named Archie Muse. He passed away in the mid-90s, and he was in the Madewan Lodge. He was our Grand Medicine Man Lodge, and he talked about Turtle Island. He said that as long as we sing and dance, that there be Anishinaabe people on this Turtle Island, and that when we stop singing and dancing and talking, then there will be no more people on the Turtle Island anymore. So as part of that, he just said, keep doing what you're doing, and it's always been a fight to keep doing what we've been doing here. I think, as Ella mentioned too, that we've had a lot of historical oppression not to be here, but we're still here, you know, so that we continue to do these things here. But I have a couple things up here too. I mentioned about Boozhoo, Anin, and there's some debate about where Boozhoo comes from. You know, one says that when the French came here, they had Boozhoo, so that's kind of what they used. And one of the older people said, well, you know, when one of our great uncles, his name was Wayna Boozhoo, and Wayna Boozhoo was half spirit and half man. And he walked the earth, and he was a great teacher. And he helped Ojibwa people, Anishinaabe people, and he did many, many things. He was also, since he was half human, he was vain too. He would make mistakes. And he was spirit at the same time too. And so when he walked, he was a very powerful spirit. And so that when Anishinaabe people would walk, they never knew if they ran into another being, as I mentioned earlier, who that being might be, because he could shapeshift. And so you never knew if you would meet Wayna Boozhoo on the road. And so you didn't want to offend him. So they would always ask, you know, Wayna Boozhoo, Boozhoo, you know, are you Wayna Boozhoo? You know, and they want to know right away if they are, and then to respect him for what he's doing. And so that was sort of like a greeting, you know, that's the first thing that they would ask. And people took it as being a greeting, and Boozhoo, and tied to the name Wayna Boozhoo, our great uncle. And he's all kinds of stories about Wayna Boozhoo. And all our stories of Wayna Boozhoo are told in the wintertime. And when the snow is on the ground and the animals are sleeping, and our relatives are sleeping. And also that with the Wayna Boozhoo stories, there's no beginning and there's no ending to all his stories. They just begin and they end. And there's no beginning and no end. They just start where they left off. So that even as we greet one another, we would say Boozhoo, Boozhoo, but there's no word for goodbye in our language. I'll see you again sometime. And so even when people leave here, the physical world, and they leave to a spiritual world, they still say I'll see you again when my time comes. You've gone on ahead of me, but I will see you when my turn comes to walk that road. So I'll see you again.